How's it going, everybody? My name's Andreas. Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel where today I will be giving you guys 5 tips on how to get better at football. If you guys do enjoy the video, make sure you give it a like. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into my 5 tips on how to get better at football. My first tip is your position. Now, you need to find originally, like, maybe someone who doesn't really know their position yet in football and they don't really know where they could fit in on the pitch. My advice is to go off this based on a position you like to play, but also a position where you find yourself useful in. For example, let's say you're tall and you're good at headering. Maybe you could play yourself as a target man up top, someone who holds the ball up and wins headers, or you could be someone who likes to play out from the back while you're tall and win headers. So maybe their central defensive position may be better for you. You need to try and find a position which essentially you like, but also a position which you feel like you would be useful to a team in. Because if you just go purely based off what you enjoy, then everyone in the world would be a striker. You need to try and find positions which you enjoy playing in, but also positions which you feel like you're useful in and what you can do to contribute as much as you can to your team winning games. It comes with a balance. My second tip for you guys is training. Now, obviously now with the pandemic, it's a lot harder to do this, but let's say you're playing for a club, you want to be training as consistently as possible. You go to every training session, and oftentimes you stay up after the hours, after the training session's ended, work on a few things which you probably enjoy doing, in that sense. So let's say, for example, you enjoy taking free kicks, but you haven't had the opportunity to do that much in training for it. Stay after training, work on those free kicks, get yourself to be the best set piece taker in the team, and then give your team an extra dynamic. Also, just enjoy doing things that you like to do after training, because that's where your motivation will be in order to essentially train more. You need to try and train when you're most motivated. Don't be training when you're not motivated at all, because then you will be inefficient. So therefore, it is probably best to pick out times where you feel the most motivated and the most determined to be the best footballer you can be, and pick those times and decide to train. Obviously now the pandemic, you can't really train for a team right now, but if you're at home, even if you don't have a garden, you can still do some sort of level of training. You can try and do some more calisthenics type of things with push-ups, sit-ups and that sort of thing, to get your overall fitness up. Or if you have a ball in your house, you can literally just practice dribbling through a little few obstacles around your home, literally in your garden, in your lounge, in your bedroom, wherever. As long as you try and find some way to train and to get yourself better, that is essentially what's key, because then your manager or your boss will see that, or your coach will see that, and then you will also recognize that in yourself, and then therefore your confidence will be rising. My third tip is game time. Now, this kind of ties into training a little bit, but essentially you're going to be wanting to play as much football in game situations as possible. Now, I understand not everyone plays for a team, so what you can do is you can go down to different football pitches. If there's people playing, ask if you can play with them. You also make a lot of friends that way. Also, if there's any way you have an app and you can sign up for football games like I do, obviously now it's suspended because of COVID. Before, there was an app where I could sign myself up to play 1-hour games every week, and then I'd go and play those. Essentially, you want to be playing as much as you can in order to essentially get that extra confidence as well, because when you're doing it at home in the training ground, or just in general just watching stuff and just practicing a bit, you may think you're getting better that way, but you need to be entirely consistent in playing against opposition as well. The more you're in matches, the more match awareness you will have, and the more you will develop as a player, guaranteed. My fourth tip for you guys is your level of opponent. Now, when I say this, I mean if you're playing for a team and you're playing against a bunch of easier opponents, maybe ask your manager or your coach to maybe put you up a level. Like, let's say you're playing for under 18s and you're doing really, really well in that position and in that sort of league area. Maybe ask your manager or your coach about the possibility of playing for the U23s, for example, or you're trying to essentially play against the toughest opponents you can find, because that will be the best way to improve yourself. Like me, for example, I'm 18 years of age, and I also play on an app where I play up against a lot of players who I can pretty much tell for certain that they're at least amateur football level or Sunday league level. And when I say Sunday league, I mean like the good kind of Sunday league, not the guy who will smoke 10 cigarettes during the game. Like, I'm talking about the good sort of level and like good amateur sort of degree of footballers, and I'm often usually the youngest player there. and I like to put myself in those situations against the older opponents, because not only can you learn from them, but you can also just essentially read the game a bit better and put yourself against harder opponents, and then therefore you start to develop abilities which you didn't even realize. 5, I nearly said 4th again there, and my 5th tip for you guys is research. Find the best ways you can to also improve, not just through this video but many videos as you can. And one good recommendation I have for you guys, if you guys want to get better as a footballer, is you need to try and find a player who you really like to watch and you really enjoy watching, and a player who you really like as well, and essentially just watch as many compilations as them, or watch them particularly in football matches, and watch just how they do things. You know, watch how they read the game, how they ask for a ball, how they dribble, how they shoot, how they defend, literally anything. For example, one of the players I've been watching is Jack Grealish from Villa. I like to watch how essentially he likes to pick up the ball and you know, create space. You know, you can essentially just pick out one aspect of the game which you want to improve in, and then just literally just keep watching how the player does it, and then you know, you keep working on that, and then you will just essentially, if you watch them a lot as well, you will start to almost emulate what they do. Let's say, for example, your best sort of abilities, your worst abilities are your finishing. You know, when you're one-on-one situations, the keeper always saves them, or you always place them wide. Maybe watch a striker who you enjoy watching, who's also good at scoring goals. Someone like Jamie Vardy, for example. Just watch on how they do their chances and how he scores his goals, and then over time, you will literally start to develop yourself as a much better player without even realizing because of it. Because the more you learn off people, the more you watch people, the more you take from it, and then obviously the better you will sort of have an image of your mind into what to do in certain situations. Well guys, there you go. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. It's another quick video, but I wanted to give you guys as many tips in an efficient amount of time as well as possible. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, make sure you leave a like. I've been Andres, and I'll see you guys very soon. Take care, lads.